This podcast is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find other great shows on the network, head over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Bev's Video Kingdom is intended for a mature audience. Listener discretion is advised.
Bev's Video Kingdom really is brought to you by...
What the fuck?
What's up, dude?
One of my renters broke the toilet again. That dude takes giant shits. Now I know what I'm doing tomorrow.
Why don't you hire a property management company or something to take care of that stuff?
Because they suck, and they take 10%.
You know, our dude Hank owns and manages Heritage Realty Partners. I think he said he only charges 5%, and he visits each property at least once a month.
That's right. He's always posting beers from the road. You have his number?
Actually, I do. His personal number is 805-451-5734.
Perfect. Now he can deal with my renter's big shits.
Heritage Realty Partners.
For all your property management and investment needs.
Start this thing.
All right, all you evil assholes out there, it is your day. We're talking about you specifically. This is the Bev's Video Kingdom podcast. My name is Brad. I am joined today by Scotch.
Evil assholes?
It's Evil Asshole Day. We're talking about memorable movie villains.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I call my asshole when I eat spicy food.
So I just
Evil
realized,
asshole.
I just realized that I think some of mine are on the line between antagonist and villain.
Wow, you should do great then.
That's going to be our judge. We'll get to determine how well you do.
You know what? Hank's my boy.
All right. Zach, how you doing?
I am here.
Nate, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. I'm glad. I've had a few false starts lately. And I'm damn glad to be back on an episode.
Good to see you.
I'm hoping you've been working on those draft skills because it's going to be put to the test today. Because, gentlemen, we have the core four here, but we are joined by a fifth, a guest drafter for a five-person. This kind of I believe we've done this before, but it's
have we done five?
A long
Maybe
time
once.
ago.
Well, we did six before
on the
basement
basement tapes.
So I was part of that. I was the judge for that.
I don't know if we've done five on a BVK, but maybe we have. This might be unprecedented.
So here's a question, right? Does the 3-hole still
or is it
the
the 4-hole?
4-hole?
Ooh.
As far as the tough spot.
I like the 2-hole.
How many holes are in trouble tonight on BVK?
We're going to try to fill all those holes, and one of the persons that's going to be filling one of those holes.
This is going to be an airtight draft.
is Tony. And Tony joined us last week to talk Inglourious Bastards, and he dropped all sorts of great Tarantino related knowledge on us. Tony, how you doing tonight?
Doing fantastic, ready to fill holes.
Yeah.
Ready to really gape things out.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're just going to draft all Tarantino villains, correct? Is that what your plan is?
I've had a few different strategies cooking in my brain, so we'll see how this goes. I kind of want to do kind of a very themed roster of movie villains, but we'll see how it goes.
I love themes.
My theme,
Themes
I'm
are the
doing
best.
I'm doing a theme too. All of my villains have the first name of Hans.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That sounds like I can think of a few right now. I've got 3. I like that. All right. So today, if you guys didn't know by our ramblings here, it is... And before we get to that draft, it is time to talk about the Deluxe Edition Network. It is Halloween. We've got spooky podcasts for you to listen to. Scotch, what are they called?
I've got Halloween candy in my mouth. I got red it caught me eating early. We have two spooky podcasts to listen to, podcasts of the month. They are Graveyard Shift and... Oh, sorry.
I like Scotch I like Scotch's voice on Red Vines. Can we just stuff your mouth with red vines and see how it goes?
Cute and kind of excited. I like it.
That's actually a perfect impression.
I can hear the fat talking. The podcasts of the month are Graveyard Club and Terror Tuesday. So go to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. You can read about those shows and all the other great shows on the Deluxe Edition Network.
Like the podcast of the year for Deluxe Edition Network, Bev's Video Kingdom, which you are currently listening to. Thank you so much. All right, it is draft day, as Scotch just screamed at us. So it is time for a 5-person draft. You guys ready for a draft order?
Is it generated by AI again?
No. This is no. We've gone away from that.
This is off the dome.
This is off the dome.
I
So
love
here
it.
we go. We've got a draft order. Let me
gone
take a
away from
glance at that. Interesting. Okay, here we go. We're gonna go from 5th to 1st.
Okay.
Because all of us have been part of special squads at some point, which I looked into our past and I had to figure out which special squads we were in. So the person who is drafting 5th, you were part of Operation Oingo Boingo. Your 5-person group secretly promoted films scored by Danny Elfman.
Danny Elfman, my dude.
At various Blockbuster video locations. That was what your secret group was doing. That was pretty impressive.
Are you looking at me?
Yeah, that was you.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. The next person you were part of.
You is Scotch.
Scott's the Danny
Yeah.
Elfman.
Scotch,
Okay.
the
Zach,
liquor sheeter.
Love
Zach, you were part of Operation Piscopo. Your 4-person group secretly promoted episodes of SNL starring the worst casts throughout the years in colleges across the United States.
Joe Piscopo
Yes, sir. It might be before your time.
flying over my head.
Oh, in the next person, Nate, you were part of Operation NKOTB.
I'm in the 3-ho.
You secretly joined a boy band trio in order to promote hair products for LA Looks in the 90s.
I did.
Oh.
I actually did. I did do that. Actually,
Nate would be the best hair
That was
product
your
salesman.
trio keyword 3.
I keep telling my kids I have clear hair.
LA Looks is a good callback. I remember those products.
Tony, you were part of Operation Lando. You secretly joined a 2-person group in North Korea to convince North Koreans to support the overthrow of Kim Jong-un and replace him with Billy D. Williams.
Oh,
Welcome to the other side of the pillow.
And I was part of Operation Bilbo. It was just a one-man job. It was a one-member crew. My objective was to steal all the Super Bowl rings from Peyton Manning-led Super Bowl teams. So that was my secret mission.
Dildo wrong.
I kind of like this. I
Operation
like
Bilbo.
that. I like your dumb. I like the way
Actually,
your
it should have been
dumb's
Operation
working.
Frodo. God, I'm a dumbass.
Operation Bilbo.
It's Frodo.
It was
Holy
a one-man
fuck.
job.
Operation Frodo.
It should just be Operation Hand Job.
Yeah, Sam does not appreciate that.
You know what? Sometimes you just fuck it up and you don't care. So that's what I did. But yeah, so if you didn't realize, we've got a draft order. 5th is Scotch. 4th, Zach. 3rd, Nate. 2, Tony, and I'm leadoff.
Second is 2.
What?
2 Tony.
You're like 5th, 4th, 3rd.
Tony,
2.
Tony, Tony.
And then number 2 over there, Tony.
Number 2. All right, so I got the leadoff, and that's interesting because
I mean,
if there's ever a time I felt like wearing the T-shirt, is it this time?
I don't know.
Let me just take a quick glance at my list before I do something rash.
And we didn't have any caveats. We didn't narrow this down at all. It's just memorable villain, and then the judge is gonna basically decide.
what's a villain?
And this could go a fucking lot of different ways.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So, not putting the T-shirt on.
Okay.
As you shouldn't.
I'm gonna go ahead and have a nice Chianti and some fava beans. I'm going Hannibal Lecter.
That's
Silence of the
wild.
Lambs.
That is a wild choice.
So I love that, but what? I mean, it's just the one movie for me, I guess, and that's what you got to pick it from, right? You're taking it from Silence.
Silence of the Lambs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Memorable, evil, knows better than everybody in the room. Can uncuff himself and
Quotable.
put people's faces on his face.
I don't hate it. I think it's a little early. I don't know if it's 101, but we'll see what Hank thinks.
All right,
So-
Tony, I left it wide open for
Yeah,
you.
you really did.
Is he going to be a fanboy?
I would say it's
Are we still
I'd say
making
it's
whole-
gaping.
We're still making whole jokes.
I have to go with a villain who is a transcendent villain who has been part of popular culture for the last 50 years now.
Of course you're going to take it.
He is your father. His name is Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe
I had him
you
at
didn't
101.
take Vader. Me too. I actually already put it down on my marked it off my list.
I almost wore my if I wasn't wearing my Niners shirt because the Niners, last week took the shit out of the Cowboys, right, Tony?
So sad.
I would have had my Darth Vader shirt on, but that was not the right pick. I don't think. Vader is redeemable. I don't want a redeemed villain.
When does Vader
That is a
redeem
very good
himself?
point. That's a very
I
good
don't
point.
want a redeemed villain.
When does he redeem himself?
At the end, he kills the Emperor.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
It's called an arc. It's called an arc.
So that is a very good point. Like, I mean, is that something that
He was a
the
good
judges can
guy.
take in-
He
in
went
account?
bad for a little while,
Yeah.
and then he became a good guy at the end.
He was
That's
a bad guy.
That's not the
He was
most
a bad guy in the
memorable
beginning.
villain.
That little kid acting.
Yeah.
It was fucking terrible.
That was pretty bad.
The pod racer.
He did kill all those children in
Yeah.
the movies we don't talk about.
On Route 66 or whatever it's called.
Yeah, you're saying that with
on the cars.
Lightning McQueen just fucking running over children.
All right, Nate, what do you got? 3 spot.
Man, this one now. This for me is where the draft goes just any direction.
Right.
Man, you could take the T-shirt here. I could make that argument,
We keep saying this. Is this going to just keep
but
pushing him
I don't.
further and further away?
My argument against it right now is just I don't think the movie is widely enough known. I mean, I
Okay,
think,
so memorable is the key word for you.
I'm going to say Anton Chigurh from No Country.
You stole that from Zach. Big
Is
Mouth.
that movie more known than?
It
my
won
top
an Academy.
favorites.
It won an Academy Award for
So
Best Picture.
So did Hans Landa.
Or no, it didn't. It was
It was
No Country
nominated.
won Best Picture. That
Oh
year.
yeah, it did. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Shit.
And he won for Best Supporting Actor.
Yeah, I mean, he's sort of often considered like I think people say he's like the most realistic psychopath in a movie.
Yeah.
But he's just the haircut maybe is the thing that does it. I don't know.
I think the
Milk
only
again. Milk.
I think the only thing I don't like about it, because I do like this pick a lot, but the only thing I don't like, he just walks away at the end. He doesn't get.
That's good.
You don't
Right.
get any
Closure.
Even scarier.
which is scarier in a way. So yeah, it depends on how you look at it.
Hannibal
doesn't-
Lecter's hanging
yeah,
out
He
on the
doesn't
beach
get
at the
very
end.
fucking far.
Yeah, Hannibal. Yeah, Hannibal
Right.
walks away too.
All right.
Zach.
Zach, your first pick of 4.
There's so many ways you can go here. It's tough. It's tough because I want to pick like. I don't want to give away my picks either.
We should have added some rounds to this.
I'm gonna go. No, because it's gonna take even longer. I'm gonna go. Heath Ledger as the Joker in The Dark Knight.
I can see that already.
I was going to take him on the wrap
can
as
see that
one of the
argument.
2 picks. So, yep.
Which I think is another one that's like maybe
It's a way overblown.
gone further because he died
Yep,
than it should
no
have.
question.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
I see. I disagree. I think even if Heath Ledger does not die, that performance is legendary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, the greatest acting performance of all time is him in 10 Things I Hate About You. And I'm like, no, that's just because he died, dude.
No, that's absolutely not true.
Okay.
Scotch, the first rapperito.
Wrap
What do you
it
got
up.
going here, man?
Okay.
Spit some bars.
Okay. This sucks so bad. Okay, I'm gonna throw the T-shirt on. I'm gonna take Hans Landa.
I think it's time.
He won the Oscar for it. It's such an amazing performance. He's so freaking good, and I absolutely love it. So I'm gonna grab it, and then for the wrap, I'm gonna go with one of my all-time favorite movies, one of my all-time favorite bad guys. Amazing performance, horrible human being in real life. Even though didn't he kind of get let off recently? I'm going John Doe in movie 7.
It's a good pick.
That's
He's so fucking creepy. He does some gnarly shit to those people, torture, horrible, and yeah, I love it.
Is it my pick next?
Yep.
Back to you. That was a good rap. That was.
We're going to go for the first time in BVK history. We're going back-to-back Kevin Spacey's. We're going Kaiser Soze from fucking The Usual Suspects.
I had him on the list.
Oh man.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
That's a big spoiler.
Speaking of walking out the door,
Yeah. Amazing performance.
I could get wild here.
I wish fucking he was a better human being because
I wouldn't have picked that if you hadn't made that pick that you made. Because
really?
then you just put it in my head. I was like, oh, that'd be a good fun.
See, I'm interested to think of the judge. When the judge sees that, does that make them think about?
You know what? I don't know what because he's younger, and I don't know.
Everybody's younger than you, dude.
That's a great point.
It's like,
Well,
he's like
except when I
44 years old.
That's why I like the governor and my brother coming on.
Fucking spring chicken, this guy. He's got grown children.
All right, Nate, we vamp for you. What do you got?
All right. I'm going with Warden Norton from Shawshank.
Which one is he?
Really good pick.
The warden.
He's one of the inmates.
Oh, but
Weird
he's,
that his name's Warden, though.
he's the one that like he's the one that he's the one that
Irony,
like,
man. Irony.
wants to take away the books or something. I can't remember.
Hey,
what
Warden,
movie
you're
it
in solitary. Shut the fuck up.
was. Interesting.
Yeah, I thought about that one, and well, there's another villain in that could obviously
I don't know, man.
pick,
Warden
but-
Norton's so evil.
Yeah.
I mean, but this is one of those things where you're like, was he a villain?
Yeah, how much raping did he
Bad
do?
guy. Oh, dude. Check out, you know what? If you check back in his church records, dude, I mean, there's a lot of raping going on.
God,
in
dude,
Warden Norton's
no one
church.
can pick this after I say it, but could you just do like Catholic Church from Spotlight, like just as like,
Oh, man.
Why did you
Why
just
did
do
you
that?
not
Why
just
did you
take
just
it?
take it and like as your own pick?
I want that. I'll take
Put
it.
it in
and you
your
leave it for
pocket,
me.
dude. We'll delete that.
I'll take it and you leave it for me. I'm on record, man. I'm ready.
All right, Tony.
I'm ready.
I think this might lose it for me
That's always good to do. Second round, that's the time to lose it.
because I might be able to get this later. But this one kind of is a little bit linked to Anton Chigurh, simply because these two movies came out the same year.
Oh.
They battled each other. I'm going to pick Daniel Plainview
Man, you think
from
he's
the
a
movie
villain?
There Will Be Blood. Oh, he's absolutely
Is he?
the villain.
What do you mean? Is he a villain?
He's
He's
absolutely
the
a villain.
absolute like worst person ever.
He takes a baby and uses the baby in order to sell people on the idea of his oil, takes over those cities, drains them of that oil, and then at the end of the movie disowns his son and murders his antagonist because he's the protagonist, but he is absolutely the villain of that movie.
Yeah, he's an absolute evil. I see what you're saying. You're going by more like
He's complicated.
I love the pick. That's sneaky.
this guy that fucking adopts a fucking baby and takes care of it, and you're saying he's a bad guy. Okay. Come on, bro.
He drinks your milkshake.
He's
Drinks your
fucking
milkshake.
giving this kid milkshakes. He's fucking got oil money.
All right, Brad, rap.
okay. Well, we're going memorable. Man, I could just go absolutely apeshit here and just really do a lot of losing. But you know what? And I'm gonna expose myself. Not that I
Here
do
it
that
comes.
often.
Here comes lots of bear.
Do I? Shit.
The gecko.
All right, no. First off, I'm gonna do one here.
Okay, you only get one right now.
I get
so-
two right now.
He's
I
rapping.
get two.
He's the first pick.
Yeah, but I'm saying each pick you get one.
Yeah.
God, I could take 7 now. I think I'm just gonna take 7.
I
hope you do because it's already been taken.
No, 7 characters right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna take more than I need.
You're going to take the guy from Split?
All right, I'm
All
going.
21 of them.
Yeah.
My first one here is going to be Voldemort.
I knew
Harry
it.
Potter.
I knew
Wow. That is a strange choice for you.
It's crazy because those movies are dog shit.
No, they're great movies, but they're books. I mean, movies that are so booky. It's hard
But-
for me to take. But no, I love it that you took
I
it.
knew
Ray
that you, I
Fiennes
knew
does a
you would
great
take it.
job. He's
I love it that you took it.
evil. He doesn't have a nose, and that really bothers me.
You should take
so
Professor Snape next.
I was thinking about that.
Or that chunky teacher that like freaking does tricks on kids.
My next pick here.
Please go Pixar.
From Ernest Scared Straight, The Trolls.
I'm gonna go why you don't ever want to be in a psych ward because you
Ooh.
might deal with Nurse Ratched.
That's a good one. That's a good pick.
Nurse Ratched, Cuckoo's Nest.
Classic.
That's a good pick.
Is that our first female villain?
It is.
Sure
It
is.
is.
There we go.
And you just made me think of my next pick. Oh, I got a good one coming.
Tony, you're up.
Let me go with a pick. We mentioned Gary Oldman briefly. Gary Oldman is a villain guy.
Yeah.
Before he was in Harry Potter, he was a villain guy. I'm going to go with Norman Stansfield from the movie Leon the Professional.
I almost took that. I really thought about it, and I thought maybe I would get it back later.
Probably
good
one of his best roles for me. Definitely one of the best villains that he's played. And there's a lot of
everyone.
Yeah, it's
Get me everyone.
And that movie was a very formative film for me, so I got to go.
Dude, the popping the pills and like getting in his own little magical world. He's waltzing around with the shotgun, just fucking wild.
He shot a little kid, her brother.
Dude,
Just
he's
insane.
Yep.
All right.
Gosh, that's a good one.
That's a great
I was
snack.
hoping to pick that up. That's one of my favorite villains of all time. I just couldn't pull the trigger. Nate, dog, you've got 2 more picks.
All right. There's just some. I don't know how to be. I don't know if I should be true to my heart, my villain, dark heart. All right.
Ooh.
I think I'm going to go with.
Ooh,
I'm leaning pretty heavy in the movie. What was my first pick again?
You had Anton Chigurh.
Okay,
You've
we haven't
got
done that
Ward
one.
Norton.
Okay. So I'm going to take Alonzo from Training Day because King Kong ain't got shit on him. You know what I mean?
I like that pick.
Yep.
I didn't know you like to get wet, Nate.
That's the first time I ever met
What, right
Nate.
now?
He was doing PCP back in when we were 3.
Yeah.
You ever had your shit pushed in?
He asked me that in 4th grade.
It's in that movie.
I know. It's just so funny with all the hole plugging talk.
Oh boy, that's a good pick though. Denzel at his most evil.
Yeah.
Is it my pick?
It
It
is.
sure is. You've mentioned a few here. You sound like you're ready.
I've got a good one. I'm going Joaquin Phoenix as Commodus in Gladiator because he is the ultimate like fucking simmering evil dude in that movie, and I fucking love it.
I love Simmer.
And he's also a little bitch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it makes it worse
Like
that he's a little
when
bitch.
you're a snot-nosed
when
villain?
when you're like
Oh,
not strong and badass, and you're still like
And he
super
tries
evil.
to cheat. Anybody that tries to cheat to win,
Yeah,
and then still gets
exactly.
smoked.
And still gets beat
Yeah, love it.
by a fucking drunk Australian. Fuck yeah, dude.
Not a drunk Australian likes to fight though.
Okay.
Fighting around the world.
Hey, Tugger.
Hey, Tugger.
That's a shout to our boy Stevie.
Stevie Johnston out there in the Down Under.
Stevie's not a fan of the pod anymore because we just clowned on Australia just now. He's like, fuck you, you don't like Russell Crowe.
Oscar Piastri is tearing it up in Formula One. Australia is going nuts right now.
Yeah,
And they might have beaten India in cricket today. I don't know.
no one knows what
I
you're
didn't
talking
check.
about.
Yeah, literally.
Cricket.
I don't understand.
That was
any of
last
the
week, I
images.
think, but whatever. All right, Scotch, what do you got?
Okay.
You got 2 picks. Your final 2
My
picks.
final 2
This is
picks.
it.
I fucking hate that I only have 2 more picks.
There's only like 7 villains left.
Yeah. Shit. All right. Somebody else said they were going to do it, and I'm taking another Hans.
Oh,
I'm taking Hans Gruber,
yep,
Die Hard.
yep,
Gruba.
yep. Don't
Just I mean, and like a guy that is you discover, you know, that was his first major movie. He was a stage guy, and you know, just talk about a guy. Just after that, you're like, you know who he is, and so because of that performance. So I think it's fantastic.
From non-Christmas movie Die Hard.
Get out of here.
Love it.
And then I'm gonna go with my heart on the last one. Why not? Because
Your heart on?
my heart on. And when I think of a good villain, I think of a nice, satisfying death at the end of the movie, which Hans Gruber also has. That's just the iconic fall from the window. I'm going to go with Clarence Boddicker, RoboCop, because he's fucking evil. The way they fucking shoot the cop to death, and it's just brutal. He does the final headshot at the end, and then the way he gets it at the end with the thing getting stuck in his neck is fantastic. So I just love that movie.
It's brilliant.
I love that most people just know him from the 70s show and they don't
Right.
realize that he's one of the most evil people. Can you fly, Bobby?
Such a great bad guy. Yeah. If you only know him from 70s show, please watch RoboCop. Please.
So good. So good.
So I wish you would have picked those in a different order, because then I could have back to you again.
Oh shit.
Because a couple weeks ago I was accused of throwing a draft when I picked a scene from the movie Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Oh,
It's one of my
it.
favorites. I'm gonna go Alan Rickman as the Sheriff
Sheriff
of Nottingham
Rickman.
because I fucking love that role for him.
He's great in that one.
Alan Rickman getting double play here, and
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey getting double work here. I like it. I like it.
Okay, Nate, your last pick of the draft.
So, oh man, I think this is the one where I've got to pick for me.
I thought number 2 was your second round was.
There's a lot of me picking. I'm going to take Regina George from Mean Girls.
I knew it.
Wow.
I knew it.
She's just fucking terrible.
She's not good.
And I'd say it's pretty memorable.
It's a great pick.
We just had Mean Girls Day, October 3rd, wasn't it?
That's right.
Yep.
Yep.
That's a day?
It's October 3rd.
Yeah, because in the movie,
The movie
He asked her
says
what
that.
day it is.
Oh, that's
October
right.
3rd.
it's a thing.
And Scott, you shit your pants when she got hit by the bus, right?
Oh, one of the biggest jump scares in movie history.
Oh, Tony, I think you're doing well. You've got your last.
He's
pick
representing very well for a rookie drafter.
Yeah, there's a few that I can go with right now. I think one is maybe more obvious than the other two. I have to go again. Everybody's going with their heart right now. I just have to go with one of my favorite characters ever created. They just did his origin story, a movie called Oppenheimer, where the atomic bomb was created. That was the origin story of my pick. A little man named Godzilla.
Oh. I thought I was thinking in that direction.
Godzilla's one of the most important parts of my childhood. My uncle showed me these movies when I was a kid. It was that and Bruce Lee movies. Mm-hmm. I've seen all the Godzilla movies. And in the first movie, he is absolutely a villain. There's no like, okay, I'm going to help with people now because they need me because Rodan is going to kill us now.
There's a Mothra coming after us.
No, he destroys everything in that movie. So.
My youngest son for years was absolutely obsessed with Godzilla. He's watched all the movies, like freaking has all the figurines, like super fucking into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I do want to mention before I make my final pick here, which is the final pick of the draft. We stayed away from horror movies, and I was actually glad because I thought a caveat we maybe should have had is that no horror movies, and we did. We stayed away from them, which I think is pretty impressive.
And as you now pick a horror movie, right?
Yeah.
No. And gosh dang it, I just hate seeing all these names on my list because I want all of them.
I know.
But I'm going to go ahead and take for my final pick. I'm not going to pick for me because that's the wrong thing to do.
Is this the last
here.
pick of the draft?
This is the last
Pick of the draft.
And you might not think of him as a villain. I think sometimes villains need to do more evil shit and be really bad people.
Usually,
But sometimes if they're just a bully, they can be a villain.
Oh, you're going with
I'm going
fucking
Biff
Tanner.
Oh man, so that was the
Back
one I
to
had
Future.
in mind where I was like, is this just an antagonist? And I think Biff was on my list.
He turns into fucking Donald Trump in the alternate 85, and he's a piece of shit. Like he's
dude. I
just doing all sorts of raw shit.
now I'm thinking of so many right now. God damn.
It's almost like if you had prepped in advance for the draft, it would have been like you would have had a long.
What about the coach from Varsity Blues?
hey, we'll
bro?
do also rans later.
I don't
okay.
want your life.
That's his dad he's talking to.
See, he's the villain.
Dude, when he fires the football in his nose,
Yeah.
what a
Show me
piece
what
of
you're
shit
made
dad.
of.
That dad's the worst too. He is the worst. How did he raise a kid like him in that
That's
movie?
going to Brown.
Yeah,
I'm going
What's
to
the
Brown.
mom like? Is the mom like hella smart and cool?
I think when he says, I think when he
hit this
says,
beer can up my head.
he's like, I'm going to Brown. I think he just means he's gonna go take a shit.
Dude, have you been to Texas?
Yeah, dude. Somebody sent me it's like homecoming in a lot of high schools now, and somebody sent me a picture of a high school rally at like a Texas high school. They've got a fucking jumbotron like
So, yeah, I was just
hanging
about to
above the
say.
gym, and it's
yeah.
like it looks
It's
like
a religion there.
it's so freaky, like how much sports is like a huge thing in Texas.
Not
Jeff
football.
High school
Jeff that we went to
football
high school with freaking moved to outside of Houston, and he sent a pic. He's like, I'm at my first Texas high school game, and it was like I thought he was at the Cowboy Stadium, like a fucking jumbotron, freaking stands, like huge stands, crazy shit.
VIP seats and like boxes and shit. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Super into it.
All right, folks, that was our draft. We're going to be coming back with a draft judge you may have heard before if you're a BVK listener. And he's been itching to get crazy. So we've got him coming out here in just a second. We'll see you soon.
We'll see you soon.
All right, folks, that was our draft. We're going to be coming back with a draft judge you may have heard before if you're a BVK listener. And he's been itching to get crazy. So we've got him coming out here in just a second. We'll see you soon.
Are you looking for a place for all things horror and don't know where to go?
Well, you've came to the right place, my friend. We are the Graveyard Club podcast. For all your horror needs, visit us on YouTube and Spotify, and you can follow us over on Instagram at the Graveyard Club Pod. See you there.
Ciao.
Bathymetrics, YouTube assist. Gonna point out all the shit that we missed. It's the draft judge, crushing dreams once again.
Oh, the Dream Crusher is in the house.
The Dutch Dream Crusher.
That villainous laugh.
Is that his nickname, the Dutch Dream Crusher?
Oh, I
like
love that.
that. Yeah.
That's you.
It's like a Dutch crunch type thing.
Cut the roof of your mouth.
King of the Hoisters, Hank, what is up, man? How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. That's probably the nicest villainous nickname I'm going to get. all go downhill shortly.
Yeah,
except for one.
There's 5 of us here tonight, and 5 of us that drafted, and so you had 20 picks to go through. So we gave you a plethora of choices, and you had to narrow it down to one winner. What was your style? We know you come with a lot of caveats, a lot of interesting takes.
Hey, hang on, Hank. Plug your Instagram, dude. We need to get you some more followers. It's what, at King of the Hoisters, right?
That's it. That's all.
How many?
It's just bigger.
How many followers are you up to now?
It hasn't grown that much. I've kind of got lackadaisical. I honestly decided I was going to do Sober October, and it lasted like 3 days. You'll see it on Instagram, but
it's October 5th right now. He's like, fucking Sober October didn't go very well.
He's like Kramer. I'm out.
Yeah, just a little over 1,200, not that many. But it's a fun place to check stuff out, dude. I get lost on there in reels. I should not spend so much time on Instagram. But
well, go follow Hank at King of the Hoisters. Now I'll kick it back to Brad. I've interrupted him enough this evening.
That's great. Yeah, Hank. We know as a previous BVK judge, you usually come correct with all sorts of interesting takes, interesting categories, and you said tonight you've maybe are doing things a little differently. What do we got going?
Yeah, switching it up, I have a whole different style that I've been slowly perfecting of the correct way to judge drafts. But this one I'm taking a total sidestep because of the topic, most memorable villain, and it just kind of chopped everything up to bits, which is kind of exciting. I started the same way I usually do, looking up the definition of the word. Character in a story plays or opposes the hero. Deliberate scoundrel, maybe, or someone who has a particular evil or difficulty. And I thought that's just way too vague. Like, that could just be any one of Zach's movies that I'm probably not going to have to look up and spend 10 hours watching.
Purposely went away from horror villains today. I think everybody sort of took that approach. So just so you know. Man.
The lists are great tonight. I am so excited. I went back and forth. I mean, because the way I did it was a little different, so I kind of felt bad for some of the villains that I really liked. But I did this point system where it was quintessential villains, kind of have 7 key ingredients or 7 key qualities that boil down to what you consider as a villain. And I'm going to just shout them out. And then I had kind of like a bonus 3 points if you had somebody who had like all 7 of those qualities.
It's like a 5-tool infielder. I like that.
It could be, yeah. So this is the villain has an obsession, which is power, wealth, or revenge. A villain has a secret, which, in Darth Vader's case was I'm your father. A villain has a wound, could be physical or emotional. A villain has a personal connection to the hero, is a worthy match for the hero. He or she thinks is the hero, like they think they're hero themselves, and they have an Achilles heel, like a weakness, somewhere that they could poke. So I kind of drove through all of them with those kind of
I love it
rough draft, and then I thought, there's got to be this kind of doesn't boil it down enough. And so there's got to be some next level villain points, or what brings them up to the next level. And so I have a little bit of a sliding scale, 1 to 3 or 1 to 5. If the villain has a great name, the villain has a good name, it really kind of strikes memory and whatnot. Another one was Love to Hate, somebody you love to hate during the movie. And then I had Army of Darkness. So if these people had like a following or, sort of people who were helping them behind to carry out
Some henchmen, bro. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. I mean, Army of Darkness kind of sums it up. And then I had one that was a shout out to my good buddy, the Gov. And this was one of episode 121. He had Future and Front, which was a great judge topic. Loved it. So if there was a point where your villain created enough energy that there's maybe sequels that contain the villain or other movies that have the same villain character spin-off, you got some extra points in there.
Okay.
And then one, of course, because it's October, dressing up, costume is huge for a villain. So I got a sliding scale of 1 to 5 for the best costume, and then I have a bonus 5 for whoever had the best costume of all the Trinkle-Inkles, and that'll come in later with a little bit of a tiebreaker, which will be fun. So then I had some team points because I decided, you put these wonderful lists together. They're not just random. These folks got to be a team. So there's team synchronicity. Would this team actually work as a good group of villains?
The people that you pick together hanging out?
Yeah.
Pick together, they're like in a room, they're going to go accomplish they all have different goals, most of these, and it's kind of like, well, which ones would actually work together the best as a villain group and fuck some shit up, right? And then I gave some additional points because I wanted to do team diversity. If you picked villains that were across different movie genres, so if you wouldn't stick to just picking all action villains, or if you had the best genre, like diversity, you get extra points on there. So that was a sliding scale of 0 to 4, whoever had the best, whoever the worst. And then I did some bonus points. So we're finally getting some bonus points.
And then we get to the bonus points.
I love this.
Hey, you were the king.
I did bonus points for each round, same way. So 0 to 4, because there's 5 of you, whoever had the best pick each round. So there's some where I was like, I love this pick, right? And then I had the steal of the draft. So at this point, I just paused, counted up all the points for all those individuals, and looked at the snake. Okay, here we go. And which pick actually had the most points considering its position in the draft? Steal of the draft, extra 3 points.
Okay.
And then we had. I was listening back to an old episode, and it was Zach going off on a riff, and I just love it, and I've been wanting to include it in a judge. It's the Triumvirate of Darkness. So if you had any of the medieval, like Lord of the Rings movies, -1, Star Wars, Star Trek, -1, or Marvel DC, -1. Oh, shit. But if you had all 3 in your team, +3. So it's kind of a weird, you're going for the theme, right? But it only hurt somebody that I really hurt my heart because that was a good pick. But anyways, I'll get back to that. Then I had the last bonus point was based on one of my favorite episodes I go back to when I'm thinking judging. I need my motivational judging. It's Sabermetrics Original Episode 6, where you get the SBAYF. Does anybody know what that stands for?
Scott Beck.
Oh, yeah. Factor.
Factor. There you go. Yeah.
Yes. As I'm going through, I was like, oh, yeah. I'll get points from these guys. Which is classic. And then another one that was in there that's never come back, and this is nothing to any judge because it was the longest process that I had of any of this, was the Oscars. And I don't remember if you remember this. This is just freaking gnarly. So if you got Oscar nomination, Oscar bid, and then if the movie got nominated, and then you actually won for that movie that you're in that you picked, there's a 1, 2, 3, 5 points. And if you really want clarification on that, go back to episode 6. Scott explains it much better. Because I'm out of breath, and we're down to now I have points for every team, and it's exciting.
All right. Well, I mean, that concise and brief explanation of all the points, it legit has. I got a boner. I'm excited. I'm excited as can be. This is going to be. I'm excited to hear the points because there's a lot of points going out, and I feel like there's going to be.
There's no way we could even know who won at this point.
Yeah. No, with all of that, like each caveat, somebody's eyes would kind of light up, like, oh yeah, my team, and then all of a sudden it would be like, oh man, it's my team.
Right.
I'll just say I love the idea of penalizing people for picking Marvel characters.
Yes, more of
Fuck
that.
Marvel. Let's go. All right, let's go.
All right, so let's hear the points, the differential between the 5 teams without any team descriptions yet. What was the point differential for the 5 teams?
Again, great show, all teams. You guys did a great job on the picks. I don't think any of you guys. We'll talk about. There's a couple that shouldn't, but it was good all around. But it was a. We're going to start. I'm going to do something very unorthodox since I'm not saying teams, and I'm going to go in reverse, and then we'll go backwards. But team 1, for the first time in ever my judging history, broke 100 points with 109. Team second place had 92 points.
Oh, okay. Team. He said team as in first place.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. I got it.
First place, yeah. Well, not team. I'm sorry, not team 1,
Right.
but first place. The team that won first place got 109 points. The team that got second got 92 points. And then we kind of had a little drift, and the team that got third had 73 points.
Ooh.
Wow.
And then just a slight drift. We had a 2-way tie for 71 points, and then I broke that tie. So those were
You broke a last place
4th
tie.
and 5th.
So
whoever got 4th
3
and 5th.
teams shit the bed is what you're telling me.
I'm telling you, and it's not necessarily because of the picks,
It's the bonuses.
It's the scoring.
but it's the scoring of the villains. Some of the people don't have, I don't know, because the villains was based off of written villains, like sort of based it off of the same writing techniques that George Lucas used with the hero's journey off of John Campbell. It's what you would do for writing a villain. Some of these villains don't have personal heroes. They're just out there, and they're just villains, and they're so good, but they don't have some of the components that are critical to that villain structure that I used.
Shit.
All right, so we're going from 3 teams with 70, and then we've got a 90, and then we've got a triple digit.
And this is something that I know that you mentioned last time you judged. You really wanted somebody to break 100, and it finally happened.
So somebody's getting that coveted first ever triple digit scoring from the King of the Hoisters. All right, so let's go down ahead and start with we had the tie between 4th and 5th, but which was the 5th place team that lost the tiebreaker?
So in 5th place was Team 3.
Team 3 includes Anton Chigurh, No Country for Old Men, Warden Norton, Shawshank Redemption, Alonzo from Training Day, and Regina George from Mean Girls.
Hank, all your DVDs just got flushed down the toilet.
That would be Mr. Nate over here is the 5th place finisher.
What
the first ever possibly BVK 5th place finisher.
So happy to be part of history.
Aren't you glad you came out of retirement just for this?
I'm going to become the all-time judge.
All right, so let's talk about those picks.
Tell us why Nate's team sucks.
There we go.
Well, I mean, specifically, that's the pick I'm talking about. That doesn't have there's not a personal hero specifically. He's a hitman. He's out there just killing folks, and he is so scary as F. Anton is one of the best villains out there, but he doesn't hit all those things, and he's got shit for costume, dude. He's just wearing street clothes.
But he's carrying like a cow.
A cow killer.
Cow killer.
Oh, man.
Great weapon.
And he doesn't have any sequels, and he doesn't have an army behind him, but he's scary, dude. He's great. He was great. That's the serious one of the ones I feel bad about was that one, because I was looking at lists, and I usually put together my metrics, and I'm like, it's something totally different. That would have definitely been on one of my top 2, for sure.
All right, new scoring system hurts them.
It just crushed you. You did come back strong, though. I think Regina George was strong at the very end for those kind of villainous qualities.
I mean, especially the outfits, right?
Just killing the outfits.
Killing the outfit game.
Yeah, my outfit game was.
She had followers. She had outfits.
I'd say Alonzo was the most outfit.
I think in all the draft, Warden was the second to lowest scoring individual.
I called him out when he drafted it. I said, that's dog shit.
You know what?
I honestly was like shocked. Only Nate would draft this, but this is horrible, but that is what it is.
Warden Norton is the definition of evil.
Well,
Nate is letting his love for the movie cloud his villain judgment.
Well, because, I thought of Shawshank. I thought, well, Warden Norton, he is awful, but how about Clancy Brown, his character? He's the one that actually shot, what's his face?
Yeah, but he's like
what about the rapist Nazis?
The rapists. That was another thing. I was like, there's a few different
sisters.
Yeah, the sisters. So anyway, I like the pick. I thought it was clever, but early.
Yeah, that's cool. You guys.
I had Alonzo. That was, a pretty solid 3rd round pick. Did he score some points there?
Yeah, no, that was a higher ranking one, and you definitely had higher points for. I think your team would work pretty well together, except for the Anton would fucking kill people.
He doesn't play well. He
You got
definitely doesn't play well.
you got two policemen in there, and you got Regina and Anton. So you just got to think they're kind of having a good time.
Yep.
All right.
All right, next team. Let's go.
All right,
I'm
so
excited. I'm fucking nervous now.
Before we hear fourth place, how was the tiebreaker decided?
Best costume. So the best costume broke the tie. Best costume overall won it and broke the tie.
All right, so in fourth place, which team?
In fourth place, again with 71 points, is Team 2.
Team 2 includes Darth Vader from Star Wars, Daniel Plainview, There Will Be Blood, Stansfield from The Professional, and Godzilla from Godzilla. And that
Best
would be
costume's got to be Darth Vader.
Best costume has to be Godzilla. Are you kidding me?
that rubber suit is
Who
fashionable.
was this? Who was this?
This was Tony. This is our guest drafter, Tony, a good friend of Walter's. So Tony gets the fourth place trophy today.
This was the only team that descended in order by points, which all of you should have, but it was the only one that did that. So it went from highest points to lowest points.
Okay, so his first pick got the highest points. His second pick got the second most. Third, fourth.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Godzilla was just shit for a villain. There's no hero there. He's got no obsession. He's just smashed up. I hate to say it,
cold-blooded lizard.
He's just a nuclear disaster.
Really, there's no costume. There's no.
The guy in the suit. That's the costume. The Godzilla suit
You did get
is the
some
costume.
bonus. The only bonus on that guy was there's a bunch of Godzilla sequels. So you're gonna rake that one in. But
To be fair to Tony, he did say, I'm picking this one for me and fuck you guys. So that's
what fourth round's for, right? That's what you guys always say.
Absolutely.
Now, in your personal judgment, who would have been your number one? Was Darth Vader your number one overall?
Oh, he would have been overall when I did the point system. He was number 3, and I think that would have been consistent for my own picks too.
Okay.
Looking at who you picked, because I probably would have gotten pretty excited thinking about it. The first row is pretty dynamite. I mean, you guys nail it on the first round picks. It kind of drifts as it always does, but a couple of teams stayed really, the two teams stayed really consistent. I think on their picks, or pulled it back, whatever it may be. We'll keep going. We're only at team. We got 3 to go.
Oh God!
So we've got one more team in the 70s. Okay. One more team in the 70s.
Stansfield was 2. Before I should underscore. Daniel DELUXE does a great job. I don't know if he's the villain though. And when I was looking at descriptions, it says he's the protagonist, but kills it. And Stanfield 2, Gary Oldman. Oh, such a good bad guy. You hate him. You just hate him.
Appreciate that on the fourth place. It's fine.
It's not last. It is not last.
Cushion's the fall.
You ain't doing grenadine with pixie. What is it? Angel dust over here.
I don't know. I don't know what fifth place gets. If fourth place gets grenadine, no opinions.
That's right. What is fifth?
I don't know.
You're doing a dust with Alonzo in the car.
Nate actually got up and left the table. He's so upset.
He went to the toilet. I think you just got to go take a dump.
It's red vines. And
he's back with a red vine in his mouth.
I just took a picture of Hank and just pissed all over it.
All right. Okay. So third place, still in the 70s. So this is one of the teams that was right down there with fourth and fifth. Team, or the third place team. What do we got?
With 73 points is Team 5.
Team 5 includes Hans Landa from Inglourious Bastards, John Doe from Seven, Hans Gruber from Die Hard, and Clarence Boddicker from RoboCop.
Fuck yourself, Hank.
That's Scotty B.
I could almost tell. Some of these are very classic to the BVK world, for sure.
So did Scott...
I would say, too, that's the weakest first-round pick, the T-shirt. I hate to say it, but it was the weakest. It was the weakest.
Every pick, I think, every person that was about to pick in the first round was like, maybe you should wear the T-shirt, but nah. And then it got to Scotch, and it was almost like he had to.
Yeah, it was against my... I just didn't like anything else there for me personally. So I just love the performance so much. He won a fucking Oscar for it, so I figured with the fifth pick, I thought it was at least a good place to grab it. So.
What do you think about John Doe? I want to know about John Doe because if I'm being honest, I wanted to pick it. So I'm curious your thoughts on the John Doe from 7 pick.
That's a good one. That was a good one. That was man. It's one of those two where I would have picked it in the spot, and then you look later, you're like, man, this other pick that got later in the draft was probably better in that position. But man, that's a good one too. You love to hate, and I don't know, you guys.
I think the
dote
problem,
on that movie for good reasons.
the problem with John Doe, really for me, is my biggest problem with it is that you don't really know who it is, or like, you know what I mean, until pretty late in the movie. Yeah. So it's like a lot of movie where you're just like, he's just like a kind of a faceless thing.
Yeah, I just love the reveal of him and walking into the station covered in blood, and that's a very memorable moment. And so it was a very personal pick for me, and I love it. Hans Gruber, I went with double Hans.
Yeah, that might now honestly be the highest picked draft of individual of all picks. That will be a later Hank point in the future for those who draft. The most memorable will be for points picked an all-time all BVK, and I think that just made the most. Hans Gruber, maybe over the sex scene, right? You got the sex scene in the pools got a lot of credit too over the years.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about Hans Gruber, and we've definitely talked a lot about fucking in the pool.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
those are two
Jesse Spano from Saved by the Bell,
very well
getting
referenced.
fucked in the pool in Showgirls. Yeah. All right,
Clarence
we've
is
got.
great too. I hate that guy. But
I got to know about my final pick, Clarence Boddicker. That's a personal pick of mine, and apparently it wasn't that great for you.
he's pretty. Yeah, I could see it's man. He's horrible. I hate him, but he just missed some of the points on the scaling.
Gotcha.
And your team diversity was the worst. I think your guys would not get along the most out of a couple. Well,
a lot of egos.
Yeah, and not as much diversity as some of the other guys on the films too. So there was a couple different point factors, but
yeah, a lot of white guys on your team, dude.
when you said the whole like diversity of movie types, I looked at Scotch's team. I was like, okay, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt.
All right. Well, now we're into a team that got
two teams
90
left.
plus and a team that got 100
Brad's
plus.
team and Zach's team. Let's go. I'm ready.
All right. So with 90 something points, what do we got for the second place team?
did I break dreams, or is this the moment? I feel like this is the moment that dreams are broken. 92 points, team one.
Team one includes Hannibal Lecter, Silence of the Lambs, Voldemort, Harry Potter, Nurse Ratched, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and Biff Tannen, Back to the Future.
Suck it, Franca.
I thought I was getting my second in a row, and I did not happen. Shit.
So, the number one pick overall being Hannibal Lecter. Thoughts?
It wasn't my number one pick overall. He is a good villain, though. He was, when I tell it all the points, he was a tie for 8th overall of all the point factors. He had 19, so he was really good. And he was another one, like Hans Lang. He won the Oscar for it, so he got a lot of extra points as a pick. But there was a couple other that I would rather face him than some of these other folks when I look at the list.
Well, I mean, Voldemort knows magic, so he's pretty vicious villain.
How badly did Brad give away his team when he picked Voldemort?
I think the Biff Tannen was the giveaway.
Yeah,
but honestly, I would
agree.
say his team was the only team that, opposite of Tony's, ascended in values. So his team went from lower
Worst to
higher.
best.
Yeah. Biff Tannen got the steal of the draft. That was the last pick. I'm like, how did this go to the very end as a villain? He's not my number one villain, but the last pick, come on, he should have snuck in there somewhere else. I thought. I mean, I would even put him over Nurse Ratched, even though she's freaky as F too. I wouldn't want to be around her. Yeah, Voldemort should have probably been lower on your list, but he's also a good villain. There's none like him. He should also. There should be I don't know what triumvirate times 4, but Harry Potter should probably be in that list.
Yeah, I think so. I think Harry Potter, yeah, for sure.
Oh, shit.
All right. Well, I thought I might have had it here, but instead the win goes to, with how many points? 100 and what?
Hank, I knew it was a good idea to have you on to be the judge today.
109.
I knew this was a good idea.
109.
Let's go.
Look at this team, though. This team is amazing.
It's
you want me to say it, or are you going to let Brad say it?
It's a murderer's row.
I've got it. This was Team 4 that had the Joker from The Dark Knight, Kaiser Soze, The Usual Suspects, Commodus from Gladiator, and the Sheriff of Nottingham, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
I think my
crazy list to win.
So one thing I tried to do is I picked Kevin Spacey right after Scott picked Kevin Spacey. So I went back to back Kevin Spacey.
Better roll.
And I tried to let it roll on my fucking Sheriff of Nottingham pick too. It didn't quite work out, but it was close.
Yeah, you went Alan
What?
Rickman, 2 picks.
I tried to go Alan Rickman for Sheriff of Nottingham right after Hans Gruber. So I was trying to do some new things, and
you were just dunking on Scotch, is what you were doing.
Yeah, well, you know,
Sheriff of Nottingham's not better than Hans Gruber. I'll fucking take that to my
Sheriff of Nottingham was my last pick. You got to take one for yourself,
I know.
Scotty.
All right, so King, where were we getting the points? 109 points. Where are these points coming from for this team?
So Joker was the number one points overall of the draft. Heath Ledger won an award for that one too, and it got really. I gave it good points for all the villain stuff. Man, where was this other one? Best pick. It wasn't the best pick of the round. I gave Anton the best pick of the round, but it got that point.
I got the best pick of the first round, and I was the last fucking place team.
Yeah, I tell you, that's
all the points you got.
What kind of horse shit
But he also said that
you got in here?
He also said the first round was like great picks all across the board. So it was like you were like the best of a bunch of really, really good picks.
Right. So wait, sorry, just to clarify. So of all the great picks, I'm the best of those great picks, and I was last place.
But that's
it's
why
like,
it's a 4-round
It's like
draft.
there's a bunch of fucking 8-inch dicks, and you got like an 8.25 inches, and it's like, dude, it's still stretching that shit out. You know what I mean?
Or we're still talking about
Hey, we're talking about our
Sorry,
other dicks. We all have other dicks.
Maybe that was a
were
bad
pretty
metaphor.
solid too.
Maybe that was a bad metaphor.
You guys are a bunch of dicks.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Hank. Tell me more about Kaiser Soze as a villain.
He was my number 2 overall points, and it was
wow.
better pick than John Doe. And it's the same storyline like you're talking about. Like you don't really know until the very end.
Amazing costumes.
But no, the costume
Zero
was shit.
costume.
Costumed himself in his fucking mannerisms, Nate. Fuck you.
I think you got medium costumes across the board. You didn't really stun it. I mean, Commodus has a bit of a costume, and he was a pretty good villain.
That
too.
fucking
He was
hair
a
lip is the
knockout.
best costume I can think of. If you got a real hair lip and you fucking bring it to your character, let's go, dude.
Yeah, and then Sheriff got -1 because it's medieval. So otherwise, it would have been tied with the other.
Wow.
But
Still broke 100 too.
had your team would work well together too. I think synchronicity was a high one on yours. But yeah, it was a great team overall. I definitely I will spend some time waiting for you guys to get the call in, and I double looked, and I was very content with the choice. Not knowing who it was.
Are you telling me that Vader and Godzilla would not work well together?
Vader just riding Godzilla with his
Come on.
lightsaber out.
Come on.
I think I want to start writing those movies. Star Wars with
Dude,
Godzilla in
that
them.
sounds sick, actually.
As long as Gary Oldman's in the closet doing drugs, you might be on something there.
Well, damn, Zach, you got yourself a W.
Hey, it's
Welcome
been a
back to the
long
win
time.
list.
It's been a long time. I'm glad to be back in the winner's circle, Hank. As usual, Jesus Christ, you're in no way negatively an idiot savant at this.
And
definitely
Zach,
an idiot,
just looking at the list here, I think you have not won. This is your first win in like
It's been a while.
10 drafts.
That's weird because no one fucking asked you, Brad.
That's like 20 weeks ago. I was so much younger then. All right, well, we got to talk also rans, right? How about we do that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, what were you going to say?
I was going to say things that I should wait till after the bumper show.
How about this?
How the fuck could we miss that one? I just don't understand. It's our also ran. You idiots.
Now, Hank, we are going to give you first shot at this, but we know there's a billion villains out there, so we're going to try to keep it to like everybody's like top 3. Otherwise, we'd be talking forever
we'll be all
about
night.
all of the villains. So we're trying to keep it down to our top 3. But Hank, I know you've got a few for us. What were the ones that you were disappointed that BVK and our guest did not pick?
I didn't put together the full metric list, so I didn't have a bunch that were well crafted ahead of time. But I did think like I was expecting to see Dracula on the list, and maybe some of the other like Frankenstein. Like the Frankenstein's maybe not as much of a villain as Dracula.
Yeah, we kind of
but
we kind of stayed away from the supernatural, and the killers like Jasons and the Freddys and stuff like that, and it wasn't really a rule, but we all just kind of ended up doing that.
Right.
I had trouble not going Pennywise the Clown.
Yeah,
yeah.
I thought of that too.
All right, Tony, what were a few that you wanted to pick but you just didn't get to?
Well, knowing all of the criteria for the judging, I definitely would have gone like the Terminator for the last one because a lot of people dress up like the Terminator. There's a lot of sequels. Jack Torrance from The Shining.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Would definitely be one. I think those were probably two of the most like high on my list that I was like, I definitely wanted to talk about Godzilla, so that's why I went Godzilla. So.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
But yeah, those are two for sure.
Nate, which picks should you have picked instead of your own?
I'm ignoring the horse shit criteria altogether. I'm gonna go Jaws.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. To me, I think it wouldn't have done well because of the stupid criteria, but I think that would have been a good one.
Great costume. Bruce the Shark is his actual name, by the way.
Yeah.
Bruce. Okay.
Is that true? Because that's coincidental with
Finding Nemo.
I think that's intentional. I think Finding Nemo did that because of
it's an homage, I think.
Okay, Jennifer Aniston from Horrible Bosses.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
Very memorable. And I think I'm going to jump to Colonel Jessup.
Oh.
From A Few Good Men.
Oh, he's a bad guy.
Yeah, very villainous.
Very memorable.
And then I'm going to say one more because
I remember him like a couple weeks ago.
Meryl Streep from Devil's Wear Prada.
I knew. I was surprised you didn't pick her.
I almost did.
Yeah.
That one was right there.
A few that I was right there on top of my list. I was kind of fighting over in my brain. Norman Bates from Psycho.
Absolutely.
And Agent Smith, Matrix.
That's a good one.
Just because, some of those exchanges were just so great. And I actually, discovering him, I'd never seen him, Hugo Weaving, in anything, and he was just so amazing. That first film just blew my mind. And then Annie Wilkes, Misery.
Yeah,
that's a good one, dude.
That's a really good one. Yeah.
That's a good one. I wanted to go Skeletor really bad. I also wanted to go. What's the bad guy from G.I. Joe, Brad? Cobra Commander. I wanted to go because cool voices. There's also we've talked about it a lot. Lotso Huggy Bear from Toy Story 3. Really amazing.
You guys did no cartoon. There's no
Yeah.
cartoon villains.
Yeah.
There's a ton of those.
Brad was trying to disguise himself as Voldemort, and fucking you wouldn't know who he was.
well, one of mine, I almost went with my final pick instead of going with Biff. Scar. How do we not take Scar from The Lion King? I mean, that's like probably the best animated pick. I would suggest.
Well, how about your Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Little Judge Doom.
Yeah,
he's dope.
Another one. This would have been a personal for me is Castor Troy Face Off.
Oh yeah.
Because you get to have a villain played by two different actors, which is a lot of fun. And then I'd say my final one, sticking with Tarantino, Calvin Candy, Django. Just a very vicious portrayal by DiCaprio.
Yeah.
He's lot of sadisticness in him.
Yeah.
He can do no wrong.
Yeah, this is a deep draft.
There's so many more. We could have gone a lot more rounds.
For sure. Absolutely. And one more Tarantino, Bill. He had a movie named after him.
From
that
Kill Bill, right?
Yeah, Kill Bill.
That's right.
Bill Cosby.
He's like the ultimate villain.
That was the reality draft.
It's just not a movie.
You're talking about Gangs of New York, Bill.
Oh yeah.
Bill the Butcher.
Bill the Butcher.
What about like Bill Cosby and Ghost Dad?
Oh no. Yeah.
I think that works.
Yeah.
I don't know why anybody didn't take that. Actually, we will say that you missed this, Hank, but earlier, Zach, and he kind of ruined it because he should have done it himself. He said, can you take the entire Catholic Church from Spotlight?
That was going to be my number one.
And they have great costumes, too.
A lot of sequels.
A lot of followers.
A lot of followers, a lot of sequels. Great costumes. Actually, that might be one of one.
Zach, it was going to be, and then I was like,
it won the Academy Award. And it won the Academy Award.
Yeah.
It would have been an epic.
I mean, not the Catholic Church.
Would have been a high pick.
A lot of henchmen. Yeah.
I won without that pick. So basically, my first also ran I would have got like the first 200 score.
And you know what? Maybe I wish there were a sequel to that where someone burns down all the Catholic churches. No.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What if we did in a future draft where you got like one of your picks gets to be like a double pick where it's like whichever the judge has to figure out the points for each of them and you get the one that scores the highest between those two picks.
The daily double.
A little daily double.
Because I was thinking we need more
like gimmicks and
stuff,
If we're gonna have Hank on, we need more of that. Hank, I love you, but not at all at the same time.
Nate's so mad right now.
I'd love to see a fifth round pick that you guys could trade with other players, other teams before I see the points. I don't know how you'd work that in, but like last minute, you're like, all right, I got
This is what we do. This is what we
one.
do, Hank. We each get a 5th round pick, but we don't get to pick it until after also rants. So like everybody, we all know like all the points, and then we do all the also rants, and then we say, all right, my 5th pick is this, and then you tell us who wins.
And then we have the secondary result.
Yeah, exactly.
And that becomes the official
It's
result.
a 4-hour draft pod, but it would be fun.
Oliver Stone presents.
I said earlier too, like, so the couple of mine that I wanted to pick is the coach from Varsity Blues and Johnny from Karate Kid.
Bud Kilmer.
And Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny. That's actually, what would we take, Johnny, or would we take
I think
Kreese.
Yeah.
No, I would actually take the long-haired cokehead from Karate Kid 3, who I think is a better villain.
Insane take.
All right, Hank, we appreciate you. We were a little late into the night tonight, and we appreciate that you stuck around to bring your special set of skills to the BVK podcast as usual, and we really appreciate it. And you'll be returning sometime here in the future.
Yeah, hopefully get you here in person again and put down some beers.
Yeah, and as Walter said, the BVK 3 is in the works. So if we got that release party coming up, probably January-ish, like we've done before. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We got to see you there, man.
Yeah, let me know. I mean, especially if Nate calls in again, I got to help lift some grain around that place.
Oh, yeah.
But I hope to see you all there. I was listening to that episode right before you guys called me, the speed draft. Got to have another speed draft, too.
Remember, you didn't make it to the day we were dumping grain.
Oh, I was dumping grain.
Yeah.
Oh, he probably was. So thank you, folks.
We appreciate you, Hank. Don't report Nate for the obvious hate crime that he peed on your picture against the Dutch people. So just try and keep that under wraps.
I hope he keeps those movies. I really do. I still want to get the Darth Vader. I mean, seriously.
The DVDs?
What DVDs?
All right, Hank, thank you for joining us, bud. We will catch you later. Take care, man. Have a good evening.
Peace out, Hank.
So we've been climbing lately in our numbers, our listens, our listeners. We need you to recommend us. So subscribe on Spotify, on Apple Pods, wherever you listen, and tell your friends. Right? I mean, that's the big thing. If you can post about us someplace on your own social media, post in forums that you're on. Just one time, something simple. Hey, I heard a great podcast. Here's a link.
Every one of my friends that I've recommended our show to listens now.
Yeah.
It's just, you know they love movies, you love talking about movies with your buddies, just tell them about the show. Have them listen.
It's the best thing you can do for us. So do it. Just if everyone does it, finds 2 friends to send it to, that's
huge friends
for us.
Then they find 2 friends.
And then each of you get 10% of the winnings, and then also we'll be probably off the air.
Oh, we're a pyramid scheme now, huh?
Yeah.
I love it.
Nate's bearing the lead, though. The most important thing that can happen right now is you're running out of time to get in to where you can tell your friends, like, oh, I listened to them back before they were big. You know what I mean? That's the most important thing. Because, like, right now, it's like a band that Brad likes. Like, if you get in now, Brad will still like you. But if you wait another couple of months, Brad will be like, no, they're fucking mainstream. I don't like that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
So, let's go.
That tracks.
Get on it now.
I love it.
All right, folks. Well, next week we're going to bring you. It is spooky season, and BVK likes to get in the spooky mood. So we might be bringing you a very seldomly seen thing on the BVK. We're going to be doing a horror movie.
Oh, are we? Fuck yeah!
Called Halloween.
Oh yeah. Did we talk about this already? Brad's saying it like we've already discussed it. I'm in, dude.
Yeah, well, we might be having some old friends come on to join us. We're hoping to make that happen. So there'll be some guests that you've heard before that really love the horror movies as well. So that's what we're trying to hook up. But we definitely will be talking about the horror movie regardless. And when I say horror movie, I mean horror.
Horror movie.
Horror.
We do a lot of horror movies.
Horror movie.
We're going horror.
My favorite genre. Horror movies.
So that will be next week, folks. Get your popcorn and your blanket and
your horse.
Put your fingers over your eyes on the scary scenes and the bloody scenes because it's going to get gory.
Let's go.
Tony, thank you so much for being here, man. We
Appreciate you, Tony.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Appreciate this. This was a dream come true.
It was also just really cool for you to beat me in the draft, so you can suck it too.
Walter started his first draft in last place. So
Yeah.
the fact that you have already reached higher than he did in his first draft.
I can already hear Walter being like, "Oh, I got fourth too." You know what I mean? Because it wasn't a fire.
That's exactly what he sounds like. Too.
Yeah, that's a good impression, isn't it?
I can only go up from here. So, but yeah, thanks so much for having
you
me.
can go to fifth. That's not true.
That's fact.
Literally false.
Not going.
You can go backwards. Nate knows.
Mathematically, 5 is below. That would be going down.
Going to try to put Godzilla in every single one of my picks.
Oh,
Hey, work it in. I bet
like
you
that.
can. You can work it in some way.
I'm gonna take King Ghidorah, or whatever the fuck his name is. He knows what I'm talking about.
King Ghidorah is the actual name of that character.
Look at that.
Mothra.
All right, let's get out of here.
Bye bye.